everyone, welcome to Math Hero, and today we will learn about factoring a trinomial. Okay, so we all know what trinomial means. It is a particular polynomial that has three terms. So if we will look at b squared plus 8b plus 7, we can count 1, 2, 3. So first term, second term, third term. So this is a trinomial. The same with n squared minus 11n plus 10. And also the same with x squared minus 11x plus 18 and x squared plus 2x minus 8. So all of these four mathematical expressions are trinomial. Yes. And also, it is good to note that first is what we are going to factor today are trinomials that have real roots. It means that there is a real number as a root of this trinomial. Secondly, by the way, it's not an imaginary number or square root of a negative number. Second is the roots of a particular trinomial can be a negative number or can be a positive number. Yep. Also, they can be fractions. Okay. So what we are doing today is we will just focus on integers, so whole numbers. Okay? So we will focus on integers. If your trinomial has an integer as a root, meaning whole number or negative numbers, we can just do it by either getting the factor by trial and error. But if you have a fractional factors, what you will need to do is you can use the quadratic formula. But this topic I will teach you in another video. We will just focus on the basic plain factoring a trinomial, the most basic thing there is. Okay? Okay, so let's dive into it. So the first number here, the first expression is b squared minus plus 8b plus 7. To factor this, you need to look at the first term. Second thing is you will need to consider the next term, which is the last term. And further, you will need to look at the middle term. So this is actually the priority, okay, the chain of priority. So let's solve number 1 here. Okay, so we will rewrite this one, b squared plus 8b plus 7. Okay, so first term. So I put first term here because you will need to factor the first term. So what is the factor of b squared? Really easy. Factor of b squared is b times b. Okay, so what you will need to do is you put two parentheses like this, open and close, and then another parenthesis that is open and close. You will write b here, and you will write b here. Alright? Next, you will look at the last term. So, last term is 7, and you will need to find its factor. So 7 is equal to 7 times 1. There's no other factor, so because this is a prime number. Okay? Next thing that you will need to do is you can write down the factors of 7 here, 7 and 1. Middle. So the middle term, which is 8, what we will need to do is actually we will need to add the factor. Okay, so first we will factor out the second step is we will factor out the last term, which is 7. So 7 times 1. After that, we will need to add the factors and check if the sum of the factors adds up to 8. So middle, 7 plus 1 is 8. So middle part is okay. Last term is okay, and first term is okay. So again, first term, b and b squared, b times b. Last term, 7 times 1, 7 and 1. Middle term, 7 plus 1, that would be 8. So it all matches. Now, we have a sign here that is positive, and we have another sign here that is positive. So it's just easy to write positive and positive there. So this is our answer. Don't worry, we will solve more here so that you can better understand the factoring process. Also, it is good to note that regarding the signs, if you can see here, okay, so if you have positive here and then another positive, and this is your main equation, a main expression, positive, the factors here is plus and plus. Okay, so plus and plus. And if you have negative, okay, and positive, negative here, then positive, just like here, negative and positive, the rule is you will have minus and minus. Okay? So minus and minus. But if you have plus, then minus, or if you have like this, or plus minus or minus minus, the possibility here is this is plus and this is minus. Okay? So those are the signs or the rule of the signs that you will need to look at. So if you have two positive numbers, like here, positive 8b and positive 7b, as long as the first term is positive, so let's just put that. The first term is positive. Okay, so as long as the first term is positive. So if you have positive, your factor, there's no concerns because all the factors are positive. If you have negative, positive, then it will be both negative. If you have negative, positive, negative, or negative, negative, what you will need to do is you will need to consider either plus, minus, or either minus, plus. Okay, so let's do number 2. So we have n squared minus 11n plus 10. Okay, so let's consider the first term. So let's do the parentheses. So we have n and n because this is n squared. Next thing, last term. So we have 10 as our last term. What are the factors of 10? The factors of 10 is 2 times 5, and then we also have a factor of 10 times 1. Okay. The next thing that you will need to consider is the middle. Okay? So the middle term is negative 11n. Okay? So from these two, if you will add 2 plus 5, the answer is 7. If you will add 10 plus 1, the answer is 11. So it would match the number on the middle. So instead of using 2 times 5, we will use 10 times 1. So we will just write 10 here, and we will write 1 here. Okay. So this is minus plus. Minus, then plus. If you look at here, this is the one. We have minus, and we have plus. So, from what it looks like, we need to put 2 negatives. So, negative and negative. So, this is your answer. Okay? So, the last step is you will look at the signs. So, since we have negative, positive, so we have negative, positive. So, our answer should be negative, negative. Okay? So, okay, number 3. Before we will move on, please consider that if you want to know if your answer is correct, you can do the distributive property or the FOIL method. We already talked about this on our previous class. So, go ahead and do the FOIL method. Check if it would match the answer at the top. Okay? So, let's proceed to number 3. We have x squared minus 11x plus 18. So, same process. Let's put 2 parentheses here. Alright? And then, we will move on and factor the first term. So, we have 2x. 2x, like x times x, x squared. Next, plus term. So, we have 18. Get the factors of 18. What are the factors of 18? We have 1 times 18. We have 2 times 9. We have 3 times 6. Okay, so that's the factors of 18. Consider the middle term. So, the middle term is negative 11x. So, you can either add or subtract here to get this number. So, 1 plus 18, that's 19. So, not the 1, not what we need. 2 times 9, this is 2 plus 9, this is 11. So, it matches. Okay? 3 plus 6, that's 9. So, we don't need that. So, 11. So, we only need to use 2 and 9. So, let's write 2 here. Let's write 9 here. Next, go and look at the sign. So, this is minus and this is plus. Minus plus, which means negative, negative. So, right here, negative, right there, negative. So, this is your answer. Okay? Let's have number 4. Our last number. Okay, so number 4. We have x squared plus 2x minus 8. So, let's go ahead and have the first term. So, this would be x and this would be x because it's x squared. So, we have 8. What are the factors of 8? So, factors of 8 are, let's have 8 is equal to 2 times 4, and also we have 8 times 1. What's the middle term? Middle term is 2x. So, we can either add or so, 8 is equal to 2 times 4 and 8 times 1. Again, we can either add or subtract to get the middle term. So, let's add first. 2 plus 4, this is 6. Not what we need. 8 plus 1, this is 9. So, also not what we need. So, cancel. How about 4 minus 2? That would be 2. It matches. Okay? So, this is 2. And then, 8 minus 1, that is 7. So, we don't need that. So, we only need these 2 numbers. So, we have 2 and we have 4. Alright, so let's go to the signs. So, we have plus, minus. So, plus, minus. So, if you have like this, plus and minus, you can use either of the two. That's why we have this brace. If you have plus minus, you will use either of the two. Either the first one is positive or the second one is negative. So, how to determine whether you will need to use the first one or the second one? So, to determine this, what you will need to do is, you look at the number, okay? And ask yourself, is the middle term a positive number or a negative number? Okay, so since it is a positive number, your answer should be positive. So, since you need your answer to be positive, you need the bigger number to be positive. So, you will need to use plus and minus. So, as if you're looking at this as plus 4, then minus 2, the answer is positive 2. Okay? Review your integer. This is plus 4, then minus 2, then your answer is plus 2. Okay? So, you will need to use your previous knowledge about integers here. So, again, to recap, the steps are first term. So, you'll need to factor the first term. The last term, you will need to list down all the factors of the last term. And then, middle. So, the middle term, we can determine which number that we will use out from the group of factors from the last term. And then lastly, you will need to use this process to determine what are the signs within the parentheses. And of course, you can check your answers. You can do trial and error, meaning you can just put the signs there and then do it over and over again until you get the exact answer. That's it for me for now. Hopefully, you can get high marks on the activity. It will not be that difficult, but you need to study hard in order for you to master this particular skill. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you for watching. Always be awesome and be a math hero. Goodbye.